Hello. Okay. Well, happy Friday, everyone. I'm here in my Mario Kart shirt because I like playing Mario Kart, apparently. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys today about the 3 secrets to success on an instrument. So, basically, if you could pick 3 things that you need to master in order to level up your playing, continuously improve your playing, get out of, if you're stuck on a plateau, how to get out of that, what are 3 things you need? So I feel like when I ask this question, because I've asked it a lot, welcome to 10 years of teaching, but a lot of people will tell me, the fingerings, the tone and tonguing. Those are the 3 most important things. Or maybe they'll say sight reading. That's another common one. Breathing and posture. All of those come up a lot. But it's important to remember that actually there are other things you need to master that don't relate specifically to your instrument at all. So, yes, it is important that you are working on technique and tone and breathing and articulation and all of those things when you play a woodwind instrument. But you also need to be working on music theory and ear training. And those are 2 topics that actually, no matter what instrument you play, they are super important. So for example, like when you're learning a new language, let's say you wanted to learn Italian, you take a few classes, you not only practice speaking it, but you also practice reading it and writing it, right? So in addition to that, even if you take all the classes and practice writing it, practice reading it, practice speaking it, you still need to talk in the language regularly with people who know it well, listen to them, speak back to them, all of that to really truly understand it. It's actually, there's a lot of ear training involved in speaking a language. So it's the same with music. Music is its own language. You have to master all of these things. Hearing what pitch you're playing, hearing if you're out of tune, recognizing relationships between pitches, that's called intervals, understanding rhythm. There's so many aspects to music that don't relate to your instrument. Okay, so I'm going to go over these 3 secret ingredients now. So the first one encompasses all of the instrument related things. So the first one would be playing your instrument, like breathing, posture, articulation, technique, tone. That's all number 1. We call those the practice strategies. That's the best term we could come up with to encompass all the things, all the technical parts of actually playing your instrument. The second thing would be music theory. So, do you know what intervals are? If I play 2 notes, could you tell me what interval that was? That's the sort of stuff that you need to know with music theory. So that was a major third. In addition to intervals, recognizing chords, like 5 chords, 5/7 chords. When you're playing music and you see C7 written or G written above the music, those are chord types, and knowing what those are really helps you understand the music on a deeper level. That's super important for intonation, musicality, knowing when to come in, all that stuff. So in terms of music theory, intervals, chords, the structure of the music, knowing if it's AABA form, sonata form, fugue form. if you're one of my private students, you'll know we've been talking about fugue form a lot lately. But knowing all of those things is just so important. And I haven't even gotten to key signatures yet. Key signatures are super important too, and scales. So there's your music theory category. Now, the last one involves ear training. So this is the part of music that isn't written down, because technically speaking, you should be able to play music with your eyes closed, it's so auditory focused. Yay. So training your ears is super important. So when you have a well-trained ear, here are some things that you will be able to do. You will be able to recognize pitches, recognize intervals, like the one that I just played. You know, like, oh, okay, that sounds like a major third. And I understand why, because my ear is trained for that. You might even be able to, like when somebody plays a piece of music, write it down. So if I go over here and play, so there are ear training skills here, and Anna and I spent years learning all this in college, but basically there's a way to recognize the time signature, the pitches, the intervals of the music when you hear it, so that you can actually learn a tune by ear. So there you go. That is another aspect of ear training. Another thing that you'll be able to do with a well-trained ear is not only play, tunes from memory or pick up a tune from just hearing it without looking at the music, but you'll also be able to adjust your intonation. So when you play, like let's say when you play like your high F, it's like, this is a very common problem with flute players. Oh no, my F is so sharp. But how do I know how sharp it is? How do I adjust it? Those are things that you will get better at if you have a trained ear. So there we go, ear training. And the nice thing about ear training is that the way that Anna and I learned it for 7 years in college was incredibly boring. Like we had this class called oral skills that we literally hated, and so did everyone else. You know, we would have to get into a circle and solfege, sing like different songs, like do, do, mi, so, fa, mi. Like that was our life, and it was boring. But you know, Anna and I got together because we have all these different strengths and experiences. Anna is really experienced with improvisation. She's actually a classical professional musician and a professional jazz musician. And she doubles. She plays flute, clarinet, and saxophone. Anyway, we got together and we figured out a way to teach ear training faster in a more fun way through teaching improvisation. So that's why at Woodwind Academy we teach improvisation. It's not because we're forcing you to learn jazz. In fact, most of it, you don't even have to play jazz if you don't want to. Like you can improv on classical tunes. Bach's music is written out improvisations, for example. We're not forcing you to learn to improv. It's more just like, okay, do you want to sing solfege for a year, or would you like to do this other fun thing for a month? So that's our thinking. It's because we're always trying to make things efficient for you. We're always trying to save you time. We don't want you spending the 7 years that we spent learning ear training. Like that is ridiculous. You guys do not need to do that. We're just all about saving time and making things more efficient and making things work well for you so that you can feel confident, so that you can level up your playing, so that you can learn those tunes by ear that you want to learn, and all the things. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions about that. Even if you're watching this live video later, just leave them in the chat. I will be on Facebook and looking at them. And also, you might have guessed, but the 3 topics that I covered today, practice strategies, music theory, and ear training, are all topics at Woodwind Academy. And we are having a really crazy sale next week where we're giving away 5 spots for $97 a month. We've never done that before, like ever. And don't know if we'll do it again. So, without further ado, I'm going to end this video before I continuously talk for hours about all these topics, because I could talk about them forever. That is why Woodwind Academy is an entire academy that we are extending to a year. So anyway, have a great Friday, and I will see you this weekend.